Hello, and welcome to Recap Stories. Today we're looking at the 2018 sci-fi action film, Upgrade. I hope you enjoyed today's video. The film begins and we meet Gray Trace, a mechanic living in a technological world he doesn't quite fit in. He's working on his car and gets the beauty running. His wife Asha is arriving home from work in a more futuristic, but ugly, self-driving car. Everything is controlled by technology in this futuristic world. They playfully mock each other's work, but it's clear they love each other. Gray has to drop off the car to the guy that purchased it, and he tells Asha she has to come with him because he doesn't know how to operate the toy she calls a car. They arrive to a very scenic area and he tells her, just you wait. The two walk over to a couple of rocks and head down as there are stairs. They meet Aaron, a really quiet guy who's playing with a cloud. Asha is excited as she knows Aaron as the owner of Vessel Computers. Aaron shows them his newest creation called STEM, and Gray couldn't care less. He claims it can do anything, a new, better brain. Gray dismisses as he says there are things people can do better than a machine ever could. Aaron is not pleased. They're driving home and Gray asks her what guys like him are supposed to do when Aaron's widgets take over the world. Gray notices the car is taking them in the wrong direction and it won't listen to any commands. The car is picking up speed and flips over. Asha and Gray are injured. We see a car pull up behind them. Some unscrupulous men come out. They remove them from the car. A man named Fisk starts berating Asha and then he pulls a gun and shoots her. They sever Gray's spine and he's forced to watch his wife die. 3 months later, Gray is wheelchair bound, being shown the robotic arms that will help feed him. His mother is trimming his beard and he starts to break down over the loss of his wife and his ability to move. Gray meets with Detective Cortez. He wants to know who did this. Cortez has no answers right now, despite all the drones and technology around them. Gray is understandably upset. Back home, he continually asks the robot arms to administer his medication in the hopes of overdosing. The system won't allow it and he passes out. He wakes up in a hospital. Aaron visits, offering him the STEM chip, claiming it can change everything for him. Gray isn't interested as he just wants to be left to die. Aaron asks Gray what would Asha want and he leaves. Gray is staring, thinking about what he just said. We see Gray at Aaron's house, lying on the table and having the operation performed. Gray awakes and is able to now move his arms. With the aid of crutches, he stands and walks. He has to keep this whole thing a secret. Back home and he's walking around. He's going over the files from his wife's murder case. Pouring a drink, his movement is very robotic-like. Gray hears a voice and it freaks him the hell out. The chip inside him is speaking to him. He thinks he's going insane. Gray is watching the drone footage from the night of the murder. The chip points out his wife was shot from a gun embedded in his hand. It uses Gray's hand and draws a marking they find on one of the murderers. It's a military marking. The chip is able to identify exactly who it is down to where he lives. Gray goes to call the police, but STEM tells him he has no actual proof and isn't allowed to let anyone know about him. Gray is seen staking out his place. Once the man leaves, he heads inside. He searches the place but finds nothing useful. The man returns and STEM tells Gray to hide behind a shelf. STEM tells Gray, now, while you have the advantage. The two men begin to fight. The man recognizes Gray. Gray is getting banged up and STEM asks if he needs help. Gray gives him permission and he starts to kick ass. STEM kills the man and Gray gets sick as he just killed someone. Detective Cortez is going over the autopsy of the man murdered. It's noted they found a boot print with engine grease. Cortez looks like she knows what's going on. Gray is with Aaron, who's upset at what Gray has done as he's been tracking him. Gray tells him he didn't say it talked, and Aaron seems very confused, like he didn't know that it would. Aaron tells him no more detective work, otherwise the authorities will find the chip and he'll be back in a wheelchair. Cortez is trying to question Gray, implying he may have been involved. Gray heads to a bar called Old Bones, looking to find some more information. He asks everyone at the bar if they know the man that was killed. A man named Tolan brings him to the bathroom. Gray asks him if he was there the night his wife was murdered. Tolan says yes and Gray tells STEM to take over. We find out Gray and Asha were a hit job and Asha was to be murdered. They find a chip from Asha's company on Tolan. Aaron attempts to remotely disable STEM, but STEM tells Gray they can get around it if they can find a hacker. STEM has already found one and they head to a hacker named Jamie. Fisk finds Tolan's body and is able to retrieve the last thing he saw through the optics in his eyes. He knows where Gray is. Gray reaches Jamie and has nearly lost all function of STEM. Jamie starts working on Gray as Fisk moves in on him. We see a truck pull up with Vessel on the side, Aaron's company. Gray is slowly crawling and he sees a vision of his wife. Fisk and his partner enter the room, homing in on Gray. STEM reboots and he's able to fight his way out. Gray arrives home and his mother finds him walking, so he has to come clean to her about everything. Cortez arrives the following day telling Gray they found his chair by another crime scene. He tells her if she wants to help, then find the men that killed his wife or let a computer do it for her. The detective bugged his jacket and is listening to his conversation with STEM. His mother begs him not to go. The detective watches him drive out and follows him. She chases him down the freeway. STEM takes control of another self-driving car and smashes it into the detective's car, allowing Gray to escape. Gray is at Fisk's place and pulls a gun on him. He asks why the hit on his wife and Fisk tells him it had nothing to do with his wife. It was all about Gray, to sever his spine. His wife just got in the way. They're fighting, but STEM is unable to predict his moves. Gray kills Fisk and they check his phone to scan for messages. They hear Aaron's voice. He was the one who put the hit on Gray. Gray heads to Aaron's house. He finds him and tells him he knows he set the whole thing up. Detective Cortez is behind Gray and tells him to drop his weapon. She tries to arrest him, but Stem attacks her. It has control of Gray's hands and won't stop. She hits him with a taser and Stem is momentarily disabled. Aaron reveals he didn't do this. This was all Stem's idea. He's in control now. Stem made him come to kill Aaron because he's the only person that can build another one. Stem caused their car to crash and hired the men to kill his wife. It wants to be human. Stem uses Gray to kill Aaron. Gray is fighting Stem as it tries to kill the detective. He suddenly wakes up in a hospital bed. Asha comes in to visit, saying he's been out for a few days, but it's all a vision. Stem is completely taken over now. Stem murders the detective. Gray has completely lost, and the film ends. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of any new uploads. Thank you for watching, and as always, do take care.